Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash, Barakathom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to Yahakim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Raya with another video, and I'm going to start it off with Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that devil is speaking to Esau Edom, the so-called white man, that red Hebrew Edomite, but more specifically the elites of the Edomites, such as the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, who can clearly see that their time is short, so that's why they're beginning to come down in great wrath by furthering their plans for internet censorship. People like Paul Joseph Watson, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Louis Farrakhan getting banned from Facebook, as well as Facebook planning on terminating accounts that post information from InfoWars in a positive light, is just setting the stage for them coming after their true enemy, which is the men of the Lord out there on the highways and byways, as well as on the internet, putting up these video epistles preaching this word, chiefly GMS, who's preaching this doctrine of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in 100% truth. Because these elites understand the scriptures, and they know that when the true men of the Lord are out there preaching the word, waking up the Israelites and bringing them back to their power, whatever heathen nation that's ruling at the time is going to come to an end. And the elites also understand that once the Edomites are taken out of power, they're never going to come back into power, and they're going to go into hardcore bondage and slavery before their permanent eradication. And clearly they don't want that. And one of the major things the elites would like to do is have some form of identification that people would need to access certain parts of the internet. And that's what we'll be getting into with this article on oldthinkernews.com titled Bilderberg Elites Planned Free Speech Crackdown Prior to Trump Win, Internet ID Next Step, and what would be the perfect form of identification for these elites to push. The microchip implant, which is the mark of the beast, because by getting that microchip implant, you've pledged your allegiance to the New World Order and Salakia. And are showing that you won't make any waves by posting anti-government content, because if you were doing that, then you wouldn't get this identification to access certain features of the internet in the first place. In June of 2016, prior to the current social media purge, Bilderberg elites discussed implementing an internet ID in Dresden, Germany, and there have been a lot of protests in Germany lately over ACTA 2, which was just passed, and that's just another form of internet censorship. And you just so happen to have Israelites preaching this word in Germany, showing that this word has truly gone global. And as it says in Matthew 24, verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And that's why this devil is coming down in great wrath. Because again, he knoweth that he hath but a short time to keep this truth from coming out and cement his hold on power and bring forth his new world order. But the Most High has you elites in the trick bag, because by trying to pass all these internet censorship laws and keep this word from going out, you're only fulfilling prophecy by bringing about that famine of the word and further bringing about your downfall. Paul Joseph Watson, who was banned from Facebook, reported on the 2016 meeting, according to our source, the creation of a virtual passport that web users will need to obtain before they can use many internet services is high on the agenda. As InfoWars reported, based on sources within the meeting, the proposed internet ID would allow Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and you might as well add Instagram, to use the online passport to revoke posting permission if a user violates terms of agreement. But what consists of violating terms of agreement, it's up to whatever these companies decide. And as you should know, these companies rub shoulders with the elites and are on board with their agenda. So whatever they say goes. And again, their main target is the Hebrew Israelites. So that's why they're going to start labeling us as our content is terroristic and inciting violence, so they can justify themselves as taking our content off the internet. And we're already labeled a hate group. The Hebrew Israelites, including GMS, is on the SPLC, or the Southern Poverty Law Center's black nationalist hate group list. Under the Obama administration, showing how far back this goes, and people like Obama and Trump are just puppets of the elites, a national internet ID was proposed. CBS News reported in 2011 that President Obama is planning to hand the U.S. Commerce Department authority over to a forthcoming cybersecurity effort to create an internet ID for Americans. The program was sold as being voluntary and was never fully implemented, but soon it's going to be mandatory. Those involved said the ID needed to be created by the private sector because if the government did it, it wouldn't be trusted, but the government might as well be doing it because, again, the private sector with companies such as Facebook rub shoulders with the elites and are on board with their agenda. This is This is an article I've used in previous videos on internet censorship from Medium.com titled, "Internet Censorship Just Took an Unprecedented Leap Forward and Hardly Anyone Noticed." And this came back out back in October 13th of 2018. Who do we got right there? Mark Zuckerberg. I'm going to jump down to right here. Anytime you try to talk about how internet censorship threatens our ability to get the jackboot of oligarchy off our necks, you'll always get some guy in your face who's read one Ayn Rand book and thinks he knows everything, saying things like Facebook is a private company, which is the majority of these dildo heads out here. It can do whatever it wants. Is it now? Has not Facebook been inviting U.S. government-funded groups to help regulate its operations, vowing on the Senate floor to do more to facilitate the interests of the U.S. government by deleting accounts at the direction of the U.S. and Israeli governments? And what did they do? They deleted Paul Joseph Watson, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Louis Farrakhan, which people like Louis Farrakhan are set up anyway, and handling the guidance of its censorship behavior over to the Atlantic Council, which receives funding from the U.S. government, the EU, NATO, and Gulf states. How private is that? Facebook is a deeply government-entrenched corporation, and Facebook's censorship is just what government censorship looks like in a corporatist system of government. Speaking of the Atlantic Council, it recently published a very interesting 21-page document about a U.S. military conference detailing, in present tense, how Silicon Valley tech giants are being used to nullify the threat that the new media landscape poses to the U.S. power establishment. Enter the social media companies, the best mechanism for suppressing oppositional viewpoints and promoting pro-government narratives is the private sector, in particular technology giants including Facebook, Google, YouTube, and Twitter, which can determine what people see and do not see. Watts adds, fortunately, shifts in the policies of social media platforms such as Facebook have had significant impact on the type and quality of the content that is broadcast. The private sector, therefore, must do the dirty work of the government because government propaganda is viewed with suspicion by the population. Business and the private sector may not naturally understand the role they play in combating disinformation, but theirs is one of the most important. In the West, at least, they have been thrust into a central role due to the general public's increased trust in them as institutions. So pretty much everything's just an illusion. The Republicans and Democrats are on the same side, and these private corporations are on the same side with the governments and powers that be. That's why the only thing to put your trust in if you're an Israelite or a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American is this truth. and pray to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai that if you're in this truth right now, you stay in this truth. When discussions were taking place on how to implement this ID system, Facebook emerged. MIT Technology Review reported in 2011 that Facebook wants to supply your internet driver's license. Facebook that's rubbing shoulders with the U.S. government. Google and Facebook, and just so you know, YouTube is owned by Google, have the infrastructure and databases necessary to implement this internet ID system and further bring about internet censorship in that famine of the word. Facebook is developing a cashless payment system. Go figure. These companies have our personal data and a monopoly over the internet. They have also shown a malicious intent to ban nationalist, Christian, and conservative voices from their platform. So point blank period. With each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to this famine of the word. Now I'm going to close it out with Amos chapter 8, verse 11 through 12. Behold, the days come, which they're quickly coming in upon us, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. So do any of you Israelites out there, get this word while you can, because this truth isn't going to be easily available for that much longer, and you don't want to be caught out there with your ass in the breeze during Jacob's trouble, with all hell befalling you, and not having that covering of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai on you, because you refused to drink from these rivers of living water while you still had the chance. So brothers, with this video, I hope you were edified. And as always, I'm going to say Abba Ball, Kwam Yasharallah. Till next time, Shalom.